Greetings, Team EOSD. It's Dr. Dana Walker, one of your assistant superintendents for school over here in the curriculum department, and I'm going to take this opportunity to use a screencast to launch this year's professional book study, which will be The Innovator's Mindset by George Couros. This title was included during the October in-service schedule, so perhaps you've already taken an opportunity to look up some of the work connected with this expert in the field. The reason I decided to do a screencast for the launch is because this year's study really will look a bit different than in the past, as it will be an inter-district study, and that means that we will have a virtual learning environment where teachers from different buildings will interact with one another virtually, primarily through the use of Google Classroom. So I ask that you do take time to listen to this screencast. I will also share the slide deck with you separately, as well as the accompanying documents, so that you can walk back through the process and the expectations without watching the full video. So here we have the title of the text, and I'd like to draw your attention to the subtitle: Empower Learning, Unleash Talent, and Lead a Culture of Creativity. This title is actually impactful for me as one of the assistant superintendents, as this is what I hope to do with the administrators, the teachers, as well as our student scholars. As I prepared for this year and thought about a professional learning opportunity that would be a bit different than what we've done in the past and hopefully excel us to the next level across the district, I thought about some of the work of the culture of PLCs. PLCs within the district have primarily been comprised of individual grade levels within a building, and you use your common planning time or after-school meeting times to facilitate the PLC. A lot of the research and the work talks about PLCs being the larger organization. So by doing a book study that includes different voices from across the district, and we'll also look for voices from outside of our district, we really will exhibit some of the higher tenets of a professional learning community and organization. I included a rationale. Why are we doing this? Engaging in ongoing district-wide professional learning opportunities really are essential for advancing our students. I'd also like to develop a common language and an understanding that transcends buildings and grade levels and subject matters, so that we all know what we are doing, why we are doing it, and how we can help each other to do it more effectively. We're preparing our students both for the present day as well as those unknowns of tomorrow. The curriculum goal is to inspire educators to stretch, create, and step outside of traditional methods of teaching in a focused effort to engage more students in an environment that supports innovation, creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, and problem finding by both students, teachers, and district leaders. The expectation in the 5 W's, including how, is that this professional study is required for all certified staff, and we are also inviting our teacher assistants to participate, and we have ordered text for TAs as well, and we have those coming in. We're working with Anytime, Anywhere learning when we create a virtual learning environment. Future Ready is one of the awards that a number of our schools have already achieved, and one of the gears specifically deals with when does learning take place. This is both appropriate for us to ask as far as our students as well as ourselves. So this is an attempt to model some of the expectations that we have within the classrooms. Once we become more comfortable with it as professionals, the chance that it will take place within the learning environments certainly increases. We will use Google Classrooms in a district blog primarily to support this learning environment, and I'm doing it because we know we really must engage our students differently. 2018 students are not 2017, 16, or back in the early 2000s, 90s, or 80s students. So we really have to focus on accepting that things are different and finding ways to support the learning. And we are going to do that through facilitators and co-facilitators moving the discussions forward. The format is that you will be invited to a Google Classroom. As I believe I mentioned, the classrooms are pretty much homogeneously grouped. That means first grade teachers throughout the district will be in classrooms, second grade teachers, third grade teachers. In some instances, because of the number, the classrooms have been broken up into 2 different classrooms just to ensure that there's an opportunity for more voices to be heard. You will receive a Google Classroom code, and I will just take you to that page. So for instance, these are the codes associated with each of the classrooms. If I am a 4th grade teacher at one of these schools here, I would simply copy this code. You can type it in manually, or you can control copy it and move over to a Google class to put that in. So here I have Google Classrooms already set up. This is just a look at my desktop actually. So I have all of the Innovator's Mindset classrooms set up, which will allow me to peek into some conversation, add comments and thoughts, and give insight as I notice awesome things throughout the district. But to join a classroom, if you've never joined a Google Classroom, you'll use this checkerboard, as hopefully you're familiar with on our Google platform. That'll take you to the classrooms. So here I would choose Google Classroom. I've already done that. Add the join a class. And remember, I copied the code. Here I will paste the code, and I would join if I needed to join that particular classroom. So that speaks to the Google Classrooms. As we move down to the lead facilitators role, we're asking that lead facilitators post questions, statements, or thoughts to open each chapter. I do have a schedule that is included later in this presentation. We're asking that teachers respond through comments, statements, or additional questions. So similar to many other online learning experiences that I'm sure a lot of you have had, and as I had during my doctoral studies. And then we have co-facilitators who will also post additional questions. Let me show you what this looks like. For instance, this is just my sheet, and again, I am in Google. It looks like an Excel sheet, but this is my Google sheet, and it lists both the lead facilitator and the co-facilitator. This is actually a great time for me to say thank you to our lead and co-facilitators who are going to work throughout this year and into next year to ensure that we are holding each other accountable and supporting you with your learning. But you will notice that there are central office administrators and trainers who are the lead facilitators, and then I have included either a building principal or a building vice principal, assistant principal under each of the classrooms to support the conversation and just to move it forward. Questions don't only have to come from facilitators and co-facilitators. Certainly you as a participant can ask questions as they arise, and in fact you're encouraged to do so. The expectation is that everybody will add to the Google Classroom threads. Here I'm going to introduce you to the lead facilitators, and not by name, just in the essence of time, but just to show you what it looks like. We have some that are responsible for all grade levels depending on the subject, and then we have some facilitators that are grade specific. Remember, you will have this also that is not in a video form, so you can take your time and see who your lead facilitator is, or you can refer to the sheet to see who the co-facilitator is. Our bilingual ESL special education and teacher assistants should choose a group that best matches your assignment. I think I've already covered the professional expectations. Additionally, if you have articles or videos, podcasts, or research that lends itself to a chapter, there are places right within Google Classroom where you can add materials, I believe as they're called. You can add to the stream. We're really interested in your personal experiences. You will find that the text addresses us as educators, and there may be some things just connected to your life that is innovative that you may want to include as well. Of course, we will focus primarily on our personal professional experiences, successes and challenges. If you have lessons that have gone well, we'd love to see those. The expectation is that you read the book independently, and then you discuss the chapters and watch suggested videos during PLCs, staff meetings, common planning, and other times when offered. During that time, you can also post to the thread. We will have Google Meets or Google Hangouts that will happen as far as virtual discussions, and that may mean on a Thursday at 11 o'clock, I may send out an email or a link that says a particular administrator or maybe myself is hosting a virtual discussion. If you're available at that time and you can jump on, then we encourage you to do so. So we'll do a mix of some during the school day and some during the evening. And if you'd like to host a discussion, please let us know. I already showed you the Google Classroom codes and the details. And here is the study at a glance. So the chapters have already been divided by the months, and I just want to show you that we are also going to look for our most innovative staff throughout the district. You will need to self-assess and then invite us in based on that assessment, and we will look for people who can be role models and colleagues throughout the district who perhaps have a particular area that you're doing well. The criteria does already exist, and this is being shared with you as well. We use the Future Ready Gears and one of their self-assessment surveys to develop this particular rubric, and you will have an opportunity to go through, rate yourself, and submit it for review. This part of the process is voluntary, but it is highly encouraged for people who know that you're doing innovative things throughout your day and you'd like to share and collaborate with staff. So you will receive this separately. And again, we will look for those most innovative practices during February and May, and we will announce those to the district. The last few pages of this particular slide deck just show a synopsis of the text, and I just extracted this directly from George Couros' work, just to give you an overview. So as we prepare, please take a moment to review in advance what you need to be able to do to be successful with this district-wide virtual learning opportunity this year. And if there are things that you need support with in advance, raise your hand and we're happy to help you from the curriculum department. My final closing question really is, are you, and I include myself in this, are we teaching for yesterday or tomorrow? I think this work will force us to answer that question. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the field.